Metric Motorcycle Madness presents Daily Challenge. Can you remove a tire without tire spoons? Sure, you can do it without tire spoons, but it's probably not a good idea. Just in case you feel like it anyways, here you go. So basically all we're doing here is once we've got one bite of the tire, you're going to have to leave the one piece here and try to start from the area where the valve stem is. Because when you put it back on, you're actually going to be starting from the valve stem too, because that's usually the easiest part. And once you get one piece grabbed, you go over to the next. So say I have this here, the bite up there holding that, and I'm gonna take another bite of the tire, a couple inches apart. You don't want to take too big of ones because you're not going to be able to get them up. And once you get, I don't know, maybe about halfway here, it's going to start getting much easier. And your original one you can actually remove and slide up closer to hold that. So what we do is put a wrench in there, and I'm just grabbing little bites with a screwdriver gently and then placing the wrench in to hold it so it doesn't fall back on it. So we'll do a little bit more of that here. And this is why tire spoons are good, and you need something really bent like this to really be able to get in there better. And all we're doing is just folding it back like that, and you can see it's popping up. Of course, the wrench is going to fall out. That's only because I'm not holding it. So you're just going to do that till you go away all the way around the tire, and then you're going to flip the tire over, and we're going to do that on the other side. Once you've gotten this one side off, you can see all the way around. This is nice and loose. You're going to pull the valve stem up out of here, and there's still going to be pressure in that tube that sits in here, so it's not going to be easy to pull out right now. So drain the rest of the pressure and try to compress that tube a bit, and then while this end is loose, we're going to actually pull the tube out first before we do the other side. Now when you were prying up on this, if you want to save the tube you're using, in most cases, if you're doing it not because you have a flat, but because you're replacing the tire, you really should be replacing the tube and rim strip at the same time. It's not really that great to reuse these. They usually get beat up pretty good. Also forgot to mention earlier, before we started trying to break the bead even, we took the nut that holds the valve stem onto the wheel off, so it's able to slide in. So now we're just going to drain the pressure. As we're pulling this out of here, this is a good indication you got a lot of rust and moisture on the inside of your wheel. When you got rust sitting on the actual old tube, you can see the mark where the rim strip on the other end came through. Now that we've got enough pressure out of here, we can just gently pull this out, like so. And this is going to make it much easier to get the tire off on the other end too. So here's your old tube. You can use that for a water wingie for your stupid kid. Now I'm going to flip the wheel on the tire over to the other end. And now you can see you got all this wonderful space. Look at all that nice corrosion and rust sitting in there. We'll have to clean that up a bit before we put the new stuff on. Also, you can see the rim band in there. Alright, so same deal on this, but it's going to be on the opposite end for the most part. So you may have to go to both sides of the wheel to try to pry this off now that you have one pass through it. Again, we're going to be gentle, and we're going to take little bites like we were before. Same thing here. We left a wrench at the smallest point where we started. And nice thing about having a short wrench like this is you can just slide it along the rim. And again, we're just taking little bites, no more than that much or that much here, and then every time you pull it back, you slide the wrench up closer to where you are. gotta kind of wiggle this a little bit to get these in here. And then move your wrench up further. So now we've got the wheel off. Wiggled it off pretty good. Now we've got this nice little rim strip that sits here. You can see where the hole goes when you're going to replace it for your valve stem from your tube. Look at all that rust and corrosion. So I'm going to pull this off of here. And again, I'm not going to reuse this. This is junk. And what you're going to have to do before you put new stuff on is you're going to have to get in there with some with a wire brush, a wire wheel, and possibly even some fine grit sandpaper, and clean that up first, all this rust and corrosion. What we're doing is we're just basically going in here with some fine grit sandpaper and getting all these rust spots out, and then blowing the rust off with an air hose. If you wanted so much as get in here and polish these, that's fine if you want to do that and wash them off. This one's too far gone to really worry about polishing, but if you are going to wash this off, just make sure you get it dry before you go and put back the tube in here, because otherwise you're just going to inhibit more rust and moisture that was already in there.